Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. This is my first post-election video where I come on and talk about the aftermath of the 2024 election and what just happened. And I was a little wrong in my prediction. I predicted that Vice President Harris would sweep all of the swing states and she would win the popular vote, that Republicans would win the Senate. I got that right. I got two races on the Senate wrong, Ohio and Pennsylvania, but the rest of them I called correctly. So in 2022, I called all but one correctly. I missed Nevada. I believed that the Republican would win that seat, and the Democrat held it in 2022. And this time I missed two. I missed Ohio and one that almost everybody missed, Pennsylvania. But overall, I feel pretty good about those races, especially considering how those states voted at the presidential level. Michigan and Wisconsin, really keen insight there, and we're seeing a little bit of a return of split ticket voting, and Nevada and Arizona, where Democrats won Senate seats or held on to Senate seats, and Trump won the state at the presidential level. So what did I get wrong? I thought that Harris would be able to capitalize on Donald Trump's unpopularity, that people would go into the voting booth and not want to return to the chaos of his 4 years in office. And Trump was able to use anger about inflation, and he was able to use Democratic apathy to win the popular vote. But he built a pretty impressive coalition. He won a very significant for a Republican share of African American men. He won I believe he won the plurality in Latino men. And Trump, he built an impressive coalition to achieve victory. And Democrats have a lot of searching to do over the next 4 years. But one thing I think that people are missing is that the reason Trump was able to claim a victory in the popular vote is that Democrats in solidly blue states set this election out. Trump voters in solidly red states showed up and ran up the score. And in blue states, Democrats, although Vice President Harris won those states, did not show up at the same level, and that caused the popular vote to slip to Trump. As of I'm recording this on November 16th, Trump has slipped below 50%, but he will still win the popular vote over Vice President Harris. But it's the Electoral College which matters. And Democrats have to figure out how we're going to go back and win Michigan, how we're going to win Wisconsin, and how we're going to win Pennsylvania and Nevada. And we also need to look at those swing states that are, newer swing states in Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia. I would be very keen, if I was leaders of the National Democratic Party, to listen to Ossoff and Warnock. Listen to Fetterman and Josh Shapiro. Listen to Alyssa Slotkin and Gary Peters in Michigan. Listen to Tammy Baldwin and Tony Evers in Wisconsin. Listen to Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada, and listen to Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly in Arizona. Those are Democrats that have won statewide very recently in the Trump era, and are some of them on the same ballot with Trump. Alyssa Slotkin won her Senate seat on the same ballot with Donald Trump. Tammy Baldwin, the same thing. Tammy Baldwin is not a moderate. Tammy Baldwin is a very progressive liberal Democrat. And she was able to win on the same ballot as Donald Trump in the same state. John Fetterman, although in office he's become more of a moderate Democrat, when he ran in 2022, he ran as a very progressive Democrat, and with the support of Democratic, the base. Josh Shapiro is an incredibly popular governor in Pennsylvania. I'm interested to see how he does in 2026, because decidedly in 2022 his opponent was very troubled. He did not run against a very strong Republican in the gubernatorial race. Ossoff and Warnock. Warnock, some people wrote it off as 2020 excitement, but he came back in 2022 and won re-election to a full term. It's going to be interesting to see what lane Ossoff takes in 2026 when he's running for re-election. Mark Kelly is doing great things out there in Arizona. And Ruben Gallego was able to win in Arizona. And Jackie Rosen is another one. She won out in Nevada. And Catherine Cortez Masto in 2022, in a Republican, what was supposed to be a Republican wave year, was able to beat back the tide of history and hold on to her Senate seat. So, like I said, I think Democrats need to listen to those Democrats in those seats. Democrats came very close in the House. Republicans are going to have a 1 to 2 seat majority in the House. And if you've been following the politics of Congress or the Republican Party for any length of time lately, that's a recipe for disaster. For Republicans, they're not going to get much done. And Trump's cabinet picks so far, there's a couple that any Republican would pick. Rubio at State, Burgum at Interior. I thought he was going to go to Energy, but he's going to Interior. Former Congressman Doug Collins at Veterans Affairs. Those are picks any Republican would make. Michael Waltz at National Security Advisor. Those are picks any Republican would make. And I think, although they'll enact policies I disagree with, they are normal Republican picks. And even Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin is a very right-wing Republican. But, at EPA, that's a pick any Republican can make. But, the picks for other positions. Pete Hegseth at Defense. Wow. That's... Gates at Department of Justice. Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. For Health and Human Services. These are people that are going to have a hard time getting confirmed, even with 53 Republicans in the Senate. I think a few of them will get confirmed. There's no way that all of them go down. But I think that Republicans have Republicans and Democrats have a chance at blocking a few. I've been saying 2 is the most realistic that have the chance of going down. I think that's if it goes to a vote. But I think that there's a real possibility that some of them may pull out. I think the opposition to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Is going to be particularly strong from some quarters on the right, particularly because of his positions on choice and reproductive rights. And you also cannot doubt the influence of the pharmaceutical industry, who are big donors to the Republican Party. Big Pharma loves the Republican Party. And I think that they may put up a strong opposition to RFK Jr. And Tulsi Gabbard is going to have difficulty getting confirmed from your more traditional hawkish Republican members, more of your old guard neocon type Republicans. And Gates, that is a pick that's going to be interesting to see how that one turns out. The confirmation hearings on that one are going to be very, very interesting. Hegseth at defense, when that was first announced, I thought that he would be the one that would go down. It was just such an unconventional pick. And then we got Gabbard and Gates and Kennedy. While he does have previous military experience, he will have to get a waiver. They'll have to pass a waiver, as they did for Mattis and Lloyd Austin. And because of his recent service in the military, he's not been out of the military for at least 7 years, and you have to pass a waiver for that. The Senate would. Actually, the House would as well, for him to serve as defense secretary. So that's a hurdle he'll have to clear. And, he does have very impressive academic credentials. He's a graduate of Princeton and Harvard. But he has no management experience, managerial, executive experience. And Trump discovered him by watching Fox News. Of the controversial picks, I think Hegseth will sneak through. And there's a lot of moving parts to that. But overall, the reason Trump won was because of economics. He also won because the incumbent president has a 40% approval rating. That's a difficult thing to run against, especially when you're the sitting vice president. And I don't think she differentiated herself enough from President Biden in the election. So my crow is this: congratulations to Team Trump on your victory. You won an election that I didn't think you could win. And you now have a 2-year span in which you have control of the Senate and House. A very small majority in the House, and a workable majority in the Senate. We will see you in 2026, and just know that the resistance that you encountered to policies that were antithetical to American values in the first term, you will face in the second term. I hope that nothing bad happens in the next 4 years. I hope that you look at the relative, success the country's having, and do not do anything drastic to turn back the clock. But we will see. That's all for now. What are my plans for 2025? I'll probably come on here occasionally in 2025 and talk about what's going on. But in 2026, as primaries commence and end, I'll give my predictions and updates on Senate races. I might even do governor's races. I'm not entirely sure on the governor's races yet, but Senate races will be back in 2026. They always are.